I've been a big fan of the novel since I was a kid, and really just fascinated by Mary Shelley and her life. I think a combination of that and the story and Mary Shelley's journey as a woman and as an author really inspired me as I was developing the film. It's a Frankenstein story. We haven't figured out how to reanimate the dead, but I think in order to bring the audience along on this ride, you really need to find ways to ground the material. So it's really important to me that, to study as best I could, trends in regenerative medicine and stem cell research, and really thought about that when I was writing the film. So I read a few books and then just wrote a draft that I knew was going to be all wrong, and consulted as many medical experts as I could find and basically told them to tear apart the script. And they did, and it made it a lot better.
I'm already a mother, so it was easy for me to relate to Celia's character the second I read it. And that grounded the material for me. It didn't read like a horror film to me. It read like an extreme circumstance under which I would do the same thing, and who would I appeal to or where would I go? So that was an immediate draw and a total attraction to trying to realize this material in Laura's vision.
I am not currently a mother, but I have been walking around with reproductive organs inside my body for quite a while.
For real?
I know, it's crazy, you guys. Wait till you hear what is going on in there. It is a horror show, let me tell you. No, but it is complicated and bizarre, and I've had all kinds of adventures along the way in my life as someone with reproductive organs, and it is harrowing to go through the world with them. And so to me, this movie felt like it was really looking straight at all of that. And I really appreciated that Rose was a person who sort of there was a little bit of a disconnect from here at this point, not to just make a pirate move, but this point down. And so her body was something that she could use, and up until it fails her. And I feel like that to me is also something that I really kind of was excited to explore. I feel like mothers, non-mothers, people who want to be parents and struggle, people who have gone through times, any time when their body feels like it's failing them or betraying them, that all felt like it was part of the story to me. And that's something I really dug into. And also just the idea of this person who seems to have no energy that anyone would call maternal, and then who sort of co-parent or paternal, whatever it may be, and then goes on to sort of effectively co-parent in the most surprising way imaginable. That also, it feels very hopeful to me, even though it's a very bleak story.
I think that choosing to have a baby or not choosing to have a baby is a very interesting story, and how do I explain it? My dad died, and there was like a time before and a time after, and you don't even recognize who you are after a life event like that, and birth is the same type of thing. And having a movie that almost like marries those two life events, it was such a similar experience to give birth, and also giving birth is disgusting. And, it is filled with blood and guts and goo, and there's a thing called a goo plug. No, what is it called? What's it called? Like when you give birth,
mucus plug.
Mucus plug. Like it is.
I like goo plug.
The goo plug. Like the list of things are endless, and it is it's so not part of our cultural film references or television references that going into it as a mom was like confusing. And I also like the dark side of shit, and I find like solace in movies and television that explore things through the dark side, because I feel like it's like people calling a spade. And so this movie is like, let's just look at it for all of its blood and guts. And even the details, there's so many details, just like the taking the amniotic fluid out of a large needle that goes in next to the baby's head. This is something that women all over the world are doing constantly, and it's an absolute horror movie in and of itself. And it's in our movie, you know, and like it's like that's one of so many amazing things in this film that I'm like, it's so, birth is so weird and badass and gross, and making a movie that's so weird and badass and gross is like a dream come true.
Well, it also takes the point of view of the filmmaker to explore it as like a beautiful creation of life, and it's from God. You're just the vessel, kind of thing, you know. But until you go through the journey, and then it becomes the kind of like a community of people with the organs and the ones who use the organs for that particular purpose.
You know, Stephanie Lister, AJ's mother, was a huge partner for all of us in making sure that AJ was in not just a safe environment, but a nurturing environment where she felt like she was collaborating with us. You know, I talked to Stephanie extensively before we shot. We storyboarded every sequence that we thought might be traumatizing or dicey and figured out the best way to sort of keep AJ away from some of the grim realities of the movie. But it was really, you know, these two were so wonderful. And just, you know, a film set is very chaotic, very hectic. I know I have a million things that I'm processing at one time. And I knew that at any given moment that one of you was checking in with AJ and making sure that she felt heard and that she felt safe.
She was definitely part of the team. She made it a point. We played with her. She was so excited to do the gory stuff and to do the gruesome stuff in the film. But also, and it's one of the things that Laura told me that she sought while seeking a young actor who still has a life, who's still a kid. Do you know? Because that almost transition in front of the camera happens naturally. Or a little easier. You know, they can go be a kid, go to school, come back, play. And it's play. You know, a scary movie kind of thing. You know, but we also, Molly and Laura and everybody behind the camera made a real effort to provide an environment that, I guess, of people, women of color, queer women, who made it a point to really care about the film, understand the film, learn about the film. And it's a nurturing, dare I say, feminine environment or feminist environment where a child like that can flourish and learn, and as well as the rest of us. You know, I was always impressed at how from safe to bold I felt during this process, you know.
Yeah, she definitely, I feel like AJ ran the set when she was there in really the best possible way, because it meant that our priority was in the right place, which was to make sure that what we were doing while she was on set was oriented around her comfort level. So it was always about checking in with her and how are you feeling, and finding a way to I was always impressed with the way Laura made it feel like fun for her and like play, because what little kid doesn't go pretend to be monsters and whatever. So like the idea of getting to be like the monster was fun for her. That was exciting and fun, and Laura made it feel fun. And we would talk about like, what do you think about this? Does this look good? Let's find out what that's made of. Let's look at that. Do you want to try to get in that? How do you feel? Because we could do it a different way, you know, and wanting to make sure that there was always communication so that she felt like the queen of the set when she was there, I think was really important, so that if she ever didn't feel okay, we would know right away. We could figure out how to work around that and make sure she felt good.